My name is Faye Majekodunmi, soon to be Harper, and I currently work at Amtrak. I am the director of Catenary Engineering Design. So I started out as a civil engineer. I thought I was going to be building bridges and buildings, and then I ended up going for an internship at Amtrak in their asset management team. Eventually I became a management associate. I worked over in New England, working on installing interlockings and making platforms ADA compliant. From there, I moved over to New Jersey and worked on high-speed rail, pretty much upgrading our catenary system and making it constant tension for the future trains. After that, I moved over to New York, worked at East Side Access in their program and modified catenary in our busiest interlocking, Herald Interlocking. Then I moved over to operations, and then I worked in operations for a while on the division level, moved over to consulting at Gannon Fleming, and now I came back, so I'm a boomeranger. So 3 words I would use to describe WTS Philadelphia are community, support, and advancement. I've got all 3 through my time within WTS, through different chapters, but what makes Philadelphia uniquely special is really the community. So most people don't know I have dual citizenship. They might know that I'm Nigerian, but I have dual citizenship, and 2 of my parents are migrants from Nigeria. You know, they really did. My mom was integral to who I am today, although it was probably a little tough in the early years. But I attest all my success to her and everything she's done for me to date. I am very steeped into my culture. I recently had 2 weddings. One was American, one was Nigerian. And everything I do is to make my parents and my family, my culture, my heritage proud. I define success as your alignment to your goals and also the relationships around you. I typically set both short-term and long-term goals for myself, and then periodically I see where I align in terms of where I am and are my short-term goals still meeting me to my long-term. So sometimes it requires some re-baseline, some resetting of my goals. Maybe my strategy is not right. And then I also take stock of the relationships around me. How are they serving me? Do I have mentors? Do I have people who I can mentor? Am I pouring into my relationships the same way they're pouring in? And really take stock of how my relationships and the people around me are reflective of me, and does that make me feel happy? So those are the 2 ways I define success, because I feel like if you do not have success in your personal relationships, there's no way you're going to be successful in your career. You really need that support system to help boost you up on those bad days, or those days of your PER reviews if they're not the best. So one piece of advice that I got when I first started out in the industry from one of my long-term mentors, Ray Varel, that I would love to give to a woman starting out is, 1, know your audience, and then 2, don't be afraid to ask those questions, right? So you want to make sure when you step in the room, you know what the wants and needs of the people in that room are. And that goes for whether or not you're working with clients, other agencies, or what so have you, even your WTS committee. But you also want to make sure that when you ask questions, they're comprehensive. It gives someone the chance to think about that question and then also give you an answer that gives you more context. So those are my 2 pieces of advice for a woman that is starting out in the industry.